Well, g'day again. Alright, this is just a quick video. As you can see, got the engine out of the bug. Been out for a couple of weeks actually. I had a issue with the gearbox. The reverse gear selector slipped on the selector shaft. So yeah, we had to pull all that out. Also, whilst doing that, I replaced the bush in the nylon bush, like in the cabin in the car. It goes on the gear shift, or the gear shift shaft. So anyway, I'm about to put it back in. I just want to make a quick video. Like, I've had this, I've had it for probably 5 or 6 years actually. I've had it on the road for 3. And in that time, I don't know how many times I've had the engine out, gearbox out, pulled apart, changed all the rear suspension, yeah, yada yada. Anyway, there's a few things that are really difficult if you don't have the right tools. Now, if you've got plenty of dollars, go and buy the right tools from Volkswagen. That's always the best option. But yeah, if you're a butler, struggler like me, or pensioner, and you very often have to make your own. Yeah. Well, I'm focusing on the engine right now. This is the best thing going for getting an engine out. This is a bike stand, or bike jack. Jack it up a little bit, I'll show you. What's really good about this is it has 2 rails, and they sit very neatly on the sump of the engine. Trying to do this with a trolley jack, wobbling around, falling off. Yeah. It's really quite sturdy. And yeah, this makes things real easy. And you get it down, you can leave it on the jack till you put it back in. Yeah, and like even for working on the engine, you just leave it. You got to take the engine out to work on it. Just leave it on the jack. Yeah, lift it up off the floor, wheel it around to wherever you want it in the shed. Terrific. So yeah, if you're like me with your bug and you're pulling engines out and putting them back in and whatever, yeah, get yourself a bike jack. Terrific. Anyway, that's the first thing. Second thing that can be a real pain. This is only if you got the 1600 with the what do you call it? The doghouse oil filter at the back. And this piece right here, this cooling duct, is right in the way. When you get the engine in, you can't get your hand in there to do this bolt up. It's just impossible. So what I've done with this, and I'm going to need a torch to show you. I could turn the interior light on the car, I suppose. Yeah, that works. Anyway, grab torch. This is a real easy thing to do. Pull my mats up. See? A removable plate. I've seen one that actually removed the whole part. Yeah, a channel where he made the whole parcel shelf removable. But yeah, see there's a bolt. It's held in by and 6, 7, 8 screws. And not only that, right next to it is a clutch adjustment, which is not an issue in a barger. You can just reach in under and grab it. But if you've got a standard height bug, or especially if you've got a lowered bug, you can't get to the clutch adjustment easy either. And yeah, so that's something that'll help you out a lot. Alright, moving on. Right, here's the other special tools that I found I needed. This one here, pretty simple, bit of angle bar, 4 holes in it. Right. These holes, once again, we're going to probably need some light. Maybe not. Anyway. Have a look. Yeah, just got the flywheel on. That's why it doesn't work, but yeah. Anyway, when you're doing up the bolt on the back of your crankshaft, which you've got to torque up to, I can't think of what the poundage is, but it's pretty high anyway. I think it's like 150 pound or something. Yeah, it's quite a lot. And anyway, you just bolt this bar to a lump of wood, and then you can torque up your bolt on your crank, and it's all, yeah, and it also doubles up for yeah, it doubles up on the gearbox. That was the other thing. Yeah, because the nut on the on the pinion in your gearbox, yeah, you've got to put 150 pound on that, and you have to hold your gearbox still. There's no way you can hold the gearbox still with one hand and then put 150 pounds pressure on that nut. So yeah, once again, same thing. You bolt this plate to a lump of wood and holds it still. So yeah, real simple. And I got another one that I didn't get out, but yeah, it's the same principle when you're undoing your axle nuts. Yeah, all you need is a piece of bar. Drill 2 holes in it that fit across 2 of your wheel bolts, or in my case I got studs. You run it down to the ground, or if you're undoing it, you run it, out the back. You're doing them up, you run it back the other way. And yeah, I didn't think to get that out. That's in the other shed. Okay, moving on. Next special tool. Clutch alignment. Now you can buy clutch alignment tools. In my case, I stripped down a gearbox for parts. Stripped down the swing arm gearbox. Put parts into the Type 3 gearbox that I'm running in here for the IRS suspension. So I took the drive shaft out of the other gearbox, and then you have a clutch alignment tool. Right. Next one. Right. This is just for one nut. Right. This is the nut that goes on your engine bolt. This one here. Now you can just see it. Yeah, I was thinking I should have brought a torch over. Right, this nut here, equally hard to get to. You can get in there, you can reach in behind the engine easy enough, get a spanner on it, but the spanner's not long enough to put enough leverage to get it undone or to torque it up again. So yeah, I've sacrificed the spanner, and this is a ratchet spanner, which is also rather helpful. You're not trying to reaching behind and relocate your spanner all the time, see? So, or wrench as you call them in America. You call them spanners in Australia. Yeah, so I specifically bought this ratchet spanner to do this job, and then I found I didn't have enough leverage, and I was hooking another ring spanner onto the end of it, and yeah, it was real pain, kept slipping off, took the skin off my knuckles a few times, and yeah. So the easy solution to that, cut the open end off, flatten a bit of pipe, jam it over the top, make sure you clean your sharp edges off, you don't want to cut yourself. Alright, so that makes that a real easy job now. Moving on. Draining and refilling your gearbox. This is real simple. Get a 17mm bolt, weld the bar onto it. There's your tool to drain your gearbox oil. And the last one, got an IRS. Doing up your, once again, I should have brought a torch over. Yeah, the bolts that bolt your drive shaft onto your gearbox, your CV joints, Allen key bolts, and you can't put enough leverage to get them undone. Or do them up again just with a regular Allen key. So, yeah, got a bit of pipe with another bit of pipe welded into the end, and yeah, there's my leverage. And it's sort of, yeah, a bit long. I really should actually shorten this. Should shorten it probably to where that hole is. But I mean, I'm aware of it. You know, I know how much I've been doing this for. No, yeah, working on cars and bikes for 50 years. So, yeah, but yeah, if you're not experienced enough to know what sort of torque, or you have a feel for how much torque you're putting on a bolt, you know, like these are 8mm thread bolt, you know, so yeah, don't go like, you know, like if I pushed this as hard as I could strip the bolts having it tool this long, you know, so yeah, I probably should only be as long as a 12mm spanner, you know, for an 8mm thread, you know, because that's about, you know, roughly the right amount of torque. Anyway, hope I've sort of explained things well enough. Bit all over the place. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Hope that's helpful. It's just yeah, a few basic things that can make your job a whole lot easier, and you don't have to go spending a fortune on, you know, special tools. I didn't mention this one actually, but yeah, I've made a whole video on this. This is for the pinion nut, and in the Type 3 gearbox, you've got the nut with all these little teeth on it, and yeah, that took me hours and hours and hours to yeah, cut a piece of steel into these square bars, you know, to position this piece of pipe on the nut, put all the little bars into the nut, yeah, clamp them all down with a large hose clamp, tack each one, and then I put another piece of bar around the top of it again and welded it all together. And yeah, these nuts too, they're a bit of a pain. You only get like that much of a turn because it then hits the shaft, and you can't sort of go, yeah, less teeth, because then it's just going to slip off. That's also, yeah, so you know, I got a socket, got an old socket that was a bit stripped out, cheapy one, welded on the back of it. And yeah, that's what this is for. This yeah, drops down, anchors on your on two of the studs on the gearbox. Yeah, slips in there, and then you just wind this bolt out onto your socket wrench, and that stops it slipping off. Yeah, a bit slow and time consuming, but it gets the job done. So anyway, I have made a whole video on removing and torquing back up that nut. I think I've made videos on the gearbox apart too. Alright, so we'll leave it at that, and thanks for watching, and hit a like please. Bye.